Hey there everybody, welcome back to the Free American YouTube channel, or the Free American Spirit I should say. It's me, Greg, and today we're going to talk about how to fix your pump up sprayer and rebuild it. So stay with me, we'll be right back. Welcome back. I do sponsor myself. We're going to be working on this Roundup, I think it's about 1.5 gallon sprayer. But no matter what sprayer you have, you should be able to find a kit something similar to this. And what we're going to do is replace the O-rings and stuff in this plunger. Now this one, if you look right down here, it was leaking, right here where you can see the gasket is kind of messed up right there. So I got to clean that out, but that gasket was leaking. So I thought, well, if I'm going to replace that gasket, I might as well get into it. The only downside is this kit does not have the sprayer tip, this white one that comes here, and the sprayer tip's a little boogered up, so I have to buy that separate. It just comes with the regular nozzle, but maybe that'll fan out. I don't know, I've never played with that. But before we get going, guys, hit that thumbs up button. That tells me you like me. Or hit the thumbs down if you don't like me. Share this video if you can, that's really important. Use that Amazon link because I support myself. It costs you nothing, but lets you get videos like this. And if you share the videos on the different networks like Instagram and Facebook, I'd appreciate it. So let's get into it. Very first thing we got to do is take this apart, and to do that, let me just get it loose, but I'll show you what I've done. So hold on. Here we are, the first step, and you'll find directions on the packages how to do this. But the very first step is I need to take this apart. So as you see those two tabs right there, you really got to get a hold of these and pinch them together, and then you have to turn this part clockwise, even though the direction sounds counterclockwise. If you look way in there, you'll see a little slot, or if you turn it this way, it kind of locks in. But these two things pinch. I kind of got it apart already, so let me just get it apart and I'll show you what that looks like. But I actually was pinching these parts while I had my helper grab this and turn it clockwise. So yours may be counterclockwise. Just look at these tabs and see how they lock on in there. So hold on just a minute. All right, now that I got this apart, it looks like this. Basically this tube will just slide right out. So in the kit you have the big O-ring on the bottom there. This big O-ring down here will replace this. This just slides off and put the new one on. Then inside here you have this O-ring. Okay, I've taken the contents out. So basically this is the washer that I slid off of here, so I know this washer goes for it. This washer I just hold up to here, you can tell that's about the right size. So once I take this little plug out, I'll put that in there, and then this thing will replace this when I pull it out. I don't know exactly what that does, but it has something to do with the pressure inside, in and out with the plunger to let stuff out. So this one must be for a different plunger model because there is no other thing. This one's for a different plunger model because, they might be different sizes. Now this little O-ring, I know inside this particular spray nozzle, that little O-ring, you can take this part off and replace that little O-ring on your old one. That's probably what that's for, but this new one already has one in it. So on my nozzle, I never used that. I don't know if there's an O-ring in here or not. I'll have to take it apart and look at it. So we'll unscrew that, see if there's actually an O-ring on there that holds that white tip secure. And I see that little thing right there, but I don't see an O-ring. So I don't know if that pulls out or not, but this tip is not leaking. It just sprays weird because it's clogged. So I'll leave that alone. But maybe you peel that out and put that little ring on, but I doubt it. I think that's more for replacing this because that's what it shows on the back, little round cylinder that it goes on. So maybe I have to pull that apart. We'll find out. But let's pull this out and replace it, and I'll show you what that looks like and show you what this looks like. Alright, I've got the big washer on. I slid it up here, it's pretty tight, and then I kind of kept screwing it. Now make sure that you get it all the way past those threads so that it's kind of flush like that. You don't want the bottom here sticking over the thread. It was really, really tight. I just kept screwing it and finally pried it up with my thumb, and that worked. On the bottom, that's the new one. So I just pulled that out. It's just a little plug. And this should just go back in, make sure there's no dirt or whatever. I wiped that out. And that should just squeeze back in there. Hear that? Just clicked right in, so that's installed. Now I will work on this. I got to figure out how to pull that apart, so I'll be right back. Hang in there. Okay, to get this O-ring off was easy enough. Has those little slots there. Just take a small little knife or a key. I use the key, pry that O-ring off. It just slips right off. When you go to put it back on, there's a new one. You'll just slip it over. Not a biggie. But it tells you to use some petroleum jelly on this. You might want to use a little bit on the underside of this one also. Or plumber's grease. I don't have any of those. I'm going to use some silicone grease. I don't think I'm using really harsh chemicals. I don't know, but should work fine. If it jams up later down the road, I'll clean this out. Which, by the way, you should clean this out anyways before you put the plunger back in. So I'll do that now. I'll reinstall this, which is just simply pushing this over like that and then stretching it over. I'm going to use two hands to do it, and I got to grease it up first. So let me do that, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Okay, another handy item for this job is some paper towels, because if you've handled this old O-ring right here, it had grease on it. And if you got just the slightest bit of grease on there and you're trying to take off this thin plastic cap, man, it's a booger. You can't get a grip on it. Anyways, you'll also want those to clean this out here, get that dirt off, so that this new seal with the grease makes a good seal. Give me your thoughts down in the comments as always. And now that we got that all greased up, we just need to slide it in there, and then we make sure those tabs line up with the holes like that, and then I'll take two hands and push down, and those little tabs will pop into place. Hang on. Once I've lined up those tabs, I just pushed this big piece down, oops, and then I turned it clockwise. So like I said, if you can see that, there's a little slot there on the tab itself that this part just slides into, so that's locked into place. All I've got to do is clean that up a little bit, then we'll fill it up with water and see how she works. Okay, this little ring right here, that's part of the old gasket. So I've sprayed this with some 409. I'm going to let it dwell a little bit, just like you should do when you're using chemicals. And I'm slowly going to use things like this paper towel to wipe it. If that won't get it off, I'll use a little bit more sponge. If that won't get it off, I'll use like a plastic kind of scrubby. But that's about it. You don't want to use anything too abrasive. You don't want to scratch this part up right here that's going to, go up against your seal over here, or you kind of defeat the purpose. If you can't get it all off, don't freak out. As long as you get the bulk of it off, it should work just fine. I did look at this little O-ring right here. Like I said, there is one on this already, so you can use it as a second O-ring if you're good at putting things in small bags and labeling them to keep it around. But these other rings that weren't used, this one small one here and this other flat washer, that's for a different style, so you can just throw those away. There it is. And of course, I still, if anybody knows, let me know where you can get these tips cheap. I'll also have a link in the description to this kit. This is a Roundup kit, which fits any Roundup sprayer. That's why you have the extra parts. Roundup brand and Ortho brand sprayers. So that's a pretty good little kit. That'll be in the description. So hit the link, support the channel. You know the drill. So let me finish cleaning this and we'll test it out, guys. Alright, welcome back. Apparently my wife is just going to talk on the phone while we're talking, because she really doesn't care about YouTube. Anywho, one thing I noticed, now that I put this back, I don't have to twist this as tight to get this to seal, which is really good. That means I don't have to fight it, whenever you take this thing off. That's nice. Also, you hear that? That's the right O-ring, but I think maybe I didn't use enough grease, but it's pumping fine. Okay, and it's pretty well pumped up. Now we'll get the thing, so maybe I'll take that out and put even more better grease in it, clean that cylinder out a little better. And that's working. I guess if I put the tip on, it'd be better. And turn that off. See, it still leaks a little bit from this handle. I don't know what that's all about. This is my little backup spray. Now it went off. There it goes. Probably hasn't been, it's been sitting around underneath the thing and not being used, but now that it's using, it's clicking off and doing its thing. So I just got to clean that tip out once again. Anybody knows where that is. Another thing, when you go to rinse these out, a lot of people don't know, you know, they fill it up, they rinse it out, they fill it with fresh water, and they just sit there forever trying to pump it through there. When I first get it, I take this plunger out and like fill a sink with water, then hold the whole plunger under the water and go back and forth. And that really cleans everything out. And then I dump some in there, put it on, and rinse out the hose. Just seems to work a lot better for me. And this sprayer is probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old and it's still working good. If I didn't leave it out in the elements and that little gasket that was on right here that seals it didn't go bad, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. Alright guys, just to let you know about this little tip. It's usually a stream pattern, but if you tighten it down enough, it won't do like a 15 degree or 20 degree like that other nozzle, you know, like kind of like a straight but a triangle pattern. It'll just do kind of a fan pattern, but that's pretty good, you know. So at least if you don't have the 15 or 20 degree little tip in there, you can always resort to this and at least get a nice little spray going and, you know, cover a little area. Just won't be quite as accurate. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. You know what to do with all the thumbs up and likes and shares and using the links to support us. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.